Hey guys, it's Jenny and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I want to share with you a simple recipe, but it's so good because it works as a side dish for almost any dinner. These roasted veggies are seasoned perfectly, roasted in the oven. They taste amazing and I think you're gonna love them, so let me show you how to make them. Go ahead and grab a big mixing bowl, set it to the side because I'm gonna add all my diced veggies into that. And we'll start with dicing 2 large bell peppers. I prefer to use the colored bell peppers instead of the green. I just think that they taste much better. I've picked a red and a yellow just to add more colors to this dish. Since I already had orange in the carrots, I wanted to get another color, which is why I went with yellow. So I'm going to start by just dicing this in large chunks and then cut them again. Now I don't want to slice these too small because you want them to cook evenly with the carrots and the other veggies. And next we're going to be using carrots. So typically I use 2 medium carrots. I'm taking a shortcut today because I found these carrot sticks in the store, so I didn't have to dice up any at all. Next, I'm going to be using 10 Brussels sprouts that have been diced in half, or you can find these at the store where they're already halved in the bag for you. Whether you are doing it at home or buying them pre-halved, you want to watch out for these excess leaves that are going to fall off of the Brussels sprouts. You can discard them or save them for another recipe. They'll cook a lot faster than the veggies and end up burning. Next, we're going to add in 1 small head of broccoli. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the trunk and then break these up into smaller pieces. This is about the size that I cut my broccoli. You just want to make sure that it's even with the majority of your veggies. And next we're going to dice a half of a small red onion. This onion was a little on the bigger side, but I did a little bit less than a half of this. One of my favorite kitchen hacks that I have learned over the years is that when cutting onions, they release chemicals and some of them are actually attracted to water. And so usually they go for the tear ducts, which will irritate your eyes. And so I like to put a water source out on the cutting board. So I just got this wet paper towel and placed it right here. And then the onions don't bother my eyes nearly as much as they would without it. And now that our onions are diced, we can add them to the bowl with our veggies, and I'm going to pour over 2 tablespoons of oil. Pour that oil right on top of the veggies, and then we're going to add the juice from 1 lemon. Now all we need to do is add our seasoning, but before we do this, I like to make sure to give everything a good mix. I want to make sure that my veggies are coated in that lemon juice and that oil. This way the seasoning really sticks to them. For our seasoning, I'm going to start with 1 teaspoon of dried rosemary, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, 1/2 teaspoon of dried dill, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And last, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now mix your veggies together with your seasoning well until everything is evenly coated. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees, and then we're going to prepare a large baking sheet with some more oil or some nonstick cook spray. Now pour your prepared veggies onto your baking sheet. I like to use a really large baking sheet for this and then move around my veggies to make sure none of them are on top of each other. Having them placed on top of each other could create a more steamed effect for the veggies underneath. So I like to make sure that they're roasted evenly, and so I just spread them out onto my baking sheet. So we're going to place them in that preheated oven that was set to 400 degrees and bake them for 25 to 30 minutes until our veggies are tender and cooked through. Another little tip to make sure your veggies are crisp and don't end up soggy is you want to make sure you don't cover the pan as well. So some people will put foil over their pan, but that will create that more steamed effect instead of being crispy and roasted. And when they're cooked, they are ready to serve. This goes with just about any dinner recipe, but they're not great made ahead, so make sure you serve these right away. All right, our roasted veggies are done. These smell amazing. I'm gonna add the ingredients down in the description below. Also a link to this recipe at the Diary of a Real Housewife. You can go there, you can print this off, you can save it. Plus you can find hundreds of other easy recipes just like this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.